Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Lunch and Learn session. I'm Naomi Farrelly from Sparrowly Group, and I'm joined today by Jackie Hicks from our team. She'll be on the chat box and tech support. So if you've got any questions as we go through today, pop them in the chat box and Jackie will give you a hand. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands on which we all work today and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. It's great to see so many familiar faces on the call today. Many of you have been part of our mentoring program over the past few years. And in today's session, we're really want to share some of our learnings from delivering small business mentoring over the last couple of years. We've worked with hundreds of businesses, a lot from the tourism industry, but a whole range of other businesses as well, to help them to support them to grow their business. And we're going to talk through some examples of what some businesses have done, some successes that they've had from taking the learning from their mentoring sessions and applying them to their business, and give you some tips and some reminders maybe of some things that you can do in your own business to help to grow your business or plan for the future too. So as a business owner, I know, because I am a small business owner, there is always so much to do. So as we go through the content today, what I would really like you to do is just think about 3 things that you can take away. And what are those kind of 3 aha moments that you have? And take down some notes. You can share them in the chat box as we go, as I talk through things. If there's something that really resonates with you and you go, yes, I'm going to go and do that, pop it in the chat box. And we'll also stop at the end of the session too to reflect on that and share some of the things that we're going to take away and work on from today. Also, as we go, we'll ask questions in the chat box and we'll stop and answer those at the end of the session too. We have allowed some time for that. So we're going to get started. Jackie and I are going to turn off our cameras so that you can just focus on the content. And we'll get into it. So what we're going to cover, we're going to go by 5 different areas today. The first, and talk about some learnings from those areas, some of the things that we teach in each of those areas, and also some things that you can do to apply the learnings into your own business. So firstly, we're going to talk about your customers and really getting to know your customers. So by be a stalker, I mean really get to know your customers and go really deep into who your customers are, your current customers, and also your future customers. In the mentoring, we always talk about ideal customers and the importance of really deeply understanding who is coming into your business. And also who you want to attract into your business, really getting into their minds and thinking about how they think. And what they want, what sort of product offerings that they want, and what problems you can help to solve for them. And once you do this, this can really help you to develop and refine your product offerings and tailor your product or service or your marketing activities to meet the needs of the customers, and also help you to create new revenue streams as well. So some examples, we've worked with quite a few distilleries throughout the program, and we've learned that in distilleries and also breweries as well that we've worked with too, customers that come to the bar are really often quite keen to learn more about the process of making spirits or beer or other beverages that are being brewed and distilled on site. So one distillery that we work with, they started out by looking at this and going, well, let's create a masterclass experience. And they created this big masterclass experience, about a 4-hour experience, quite a high price point that went really deep into how to make gin, looking at all the different botanicals and the process of distilling. But what they quickly realized is not all of their customers wanted an experience that was, that deep and informative. They wanted to learn a little bit and know about a little bit about the gin process, but not that level of detail. Or maybe they didn't have that time to commit or didn't want to spend at that same price point as well. So what they did was they built out a suite of experiences from blending, from tasting, starting with just a tasting at the bar, guided by a distiller to talk you through the different types of gins, to blending, to looking at how you can blend different aromatics and botanicals to create different flavors in the gin, then to the full masterclass, which really gave them a beautiful suite of products for different customer bases. It's also important, if you're a tourism business, to understand who's coming into your destination and really, get to know your local tourism organisation, maybe, and ask them some questions about who is coming into your destination, what they are looking for. So a tour experience that we work with, they're actually approached to develop a tour for seniors that were coming to the area to visit a local event. So a seniors group that were looking at coming and having an experience with them, which is quite different to what they would normally offer. It was a beekeeping business, and normally they get the suits on, you go out into the apiary and engage with the bees and really, get hands-on as part of the experience. So these visitors were looking for something that was shorter, entertaining and educational, but importantly for them was something that was easy to access as well. And for that market, the seniors group, quite often morning teas are important too. So what they did was develop a new tour that catered just specifically to these needs, and it was a great success. And they're now actively promoting that tour to the senior group market and have created a new midweek revenue stream for the business as a result. So by understanding who's coming into the destination, they could really tailor a product and experience to meet the needs. So what can you do in your business to really understand your customers? Firstly, do your research and keep up to date with consumer trends. There is lots of insights and data available from tourism teams and other organisations that are sharing research around visitor trends, traveller trends and customer trends. By looking at some of this research and identifying the growth in the wellness tourism market, a small boutique accommodation provider that we worked with found a little gap in the market, and they were able to pivot, dare I say it, their business offering from targeting FRT travellers and wedding groups, which was the traditional market for their destination, to focus just on group retreats for the wellness market, and they're doing really well as a result. So do your research and really see, where those gaps are in the market too. Listen to your customers. This is really important. Like, really listen to them, talk to them when you're in there in your business, ask them for honest feedback, read your reviews, and there's so many nuggets of gold in there that customers will give you. So listen to what your customers and what they're saying about your business. You'll find areas where you can improve and tweak your product as a result. Next is then to take this and brainstorm it with your team. Engage the whole team, it's so important, and think about what you can do. What improvements can you make? What new things could you create? Or what small tweaks could you make to your product or service offering? And don't be afraid to change your customer markets or your offerings and services to meet the needs or the feedback of your customers as well. It's okay to change along the way. So that's some things you can do with the customers that are coming into your business or the ones that you want to attract into your business. Next, we're going to talk about finances. Don't be scared of your numbers. We often find that this is the one area that businesses are really the most resistant to work on when we're doing mentoring work. Please don't be. Really getting to know your numbers can provide you with so much insight and clarity and help you to really make informed business decisions about where to go next. And it can also help you to make more money, which we all like as business owners too. So an agri-tourism business that we work with completely changed their business model after doing a deep dive into their numbers. It made them really realise which areas of business were most profitable and gave them the confidence to get rid of some offerings that weren't making them money and really build and focus on growing the experiences and the products that were profitable for the business. A tour company that we work with really was able to quickly reduce their costs quite considerably after they realised by looking at their P&L that one of their biggest expenses was bottled water for visitors. It was part of their tour offering that they would provide this. And it was important too because it was an outdoor experience where it's quite hot. So what they did was looked at how they could provide a more cost-effective way of doing this. And it was quite simple, really. They just made filtered water available to their customers so they could fill their own water bottle when they were visiting, or they could purchase a branded new one, which saved them some money on one hand because they weren't buying the bottled water, but also created a new revenue stream with branded water bottles. So think creatively about how you can cost save and maybe bring in new revenue streams. We know that numbers can also be pretty overwhelming too. So like everything, we always recommend breaking it down into really small, manageable steps. Take your COGS, for example, or cost of goods sold. Attack it one line item at a time. We work with a cafe that by doing this really systematically, starting with bacon and eggs, starting with one line item, and finding cheaper suppliers or ways to reduce their costs, like buying in bulk, they were able over time to reduce their COGS from over 50% to just under 30%, which is a huge saving and really impacted the profitability of their business. So what can you do when it comes to your finances? Firstly, educate yourself. It really is, as a small business owner, your responsibility to understand your numbers in your business. No one else is going to come along and do it for you. So make it a priority to educate yourself. We've got plenty of resources and we'll share, how to access those at the end if you don't have them already. If you're not confident in how to understand your numbers, reach out, we can help you with that. But make it a priority to really learn about how to read your balance sheet, your profit and loss statements in your business and track those numbers regularly. which leads me to making it a priority and scheduling some time to regularly review your numbers. I know in business that we all get busy in the business, but we need to really take some time, schedule it in to step out of the business and look at those numbers and see how you're tracking and progressing. So maybe lock in some time weekly to look at small tasks, which could be cost of goods sold and how you can reduce those down each week. And then monthly, set aside some time to track and your progress and review where you're at as well. And then finally, build your team. As you grow as a business, you need different support and different tools in place to be able to help you to grow. So it's like everything, it's never a set and forget. Think about the team that you've got to help you with your finances and your business. Do you have the right tools in place? Is it time to shift from a spreadsheet to some accounting software, or to get a bookkeeper? Maybe upgrade your bookkeeper or your accountant to someone that can really help you into the next phase of growth. Look at making sure you've got that right team in place as well. So the third thing we're going to talk about is creating your playbook. And what do I mean by that? What I'm talking about here is really building up systems and processes for your business. These are so important as they can really help you to create operational efficiencies and improve consistency in product delivery for your business. So when you look at all the things that you do on a day-to-day basis in your business, ask yourself, is this something that I'm going to have to do again? And if the answer is yes, which most likely it probably will be, you will want to add it to your business playbook. Or that is, capture a system, a process, or a framework for doing it. For accommodation providers in particular, we've seen lots of really great examples of this. There's so many opportunities to create systems and processes to streamline these businesses. A guest house that we've worked with recently, they really knew their numbers and they realised it was taking too long and therefore costing them too much to clean their rooms. There was a process in place, but it really wasn't particularly detailed. And with changes to the team and the management staff, not everyone had been trained and it didn't really correctly reflect the current product offering. So what did they do? They brought the whole housekeeping team together with management and they worked through the process together. Management really, talked about what they were doing well and looked at the finer details and the attention to detail of each room and how they could clean it better and how it could be presented. And they worked together, streamline the process and document the new way of doing things. So through the process, everyone was trained in the new way of doing it. So the result overall was that they have much better presented and more consistently presented rooms. They're saving time and in turn money, and they've got a much happier team because everybody understands the expectations of all the people within the team as well. So what can you do in your business to start capturing systems and processes? Now, just like the finances, sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming as to where to start. So make the list of the top 5 tasks in your business. What are the 5 most important things in your business that need to be done on a day-to-day basis? Document these processes and then train the team in how to do them. You also need to build that container for the team. So what I mean by that is creating clear ways of working for the business and the guide of how to document processes and systems in the business. It could be for some things that you just need to have a regular team meeting. Other things it might be you need a checklist or there needs to be a really detailed operating procedure in place. The key is to keep it as simple as you can. So you might do it through checklists, you might create some videos of how to do things in the business or use photos to help to document processes as well. Or even screen captures are a really useful tool to use to show online processes like updating the website, for example. It's important to remember that you can't blame your team for not delivering if you haven't set up the process of how to do something correctly. People aren't mind readers. This is why systems and processes are so important because they will over time really help you to increase your operational efficiency. As you do this, engage the whole team. Use the skills of the team that you have and create champions. You don't have to be doing all of this yourself. We found a really great example of this with an event provider that we were working with. They use their downtime at events to start to capture how to set up, pack down their product, also to track how, capture how to deliver customer services and other operational processes that were happening on site. They built out a playbook with their team on site which now means that the business owner doesn't have to be on site for every event. They've actually empowered the team through the process to be able to deliver their product and service on their own, which is a great win for the business owner. So the next thing we're going to talk about is working the system. And by that, we mean the ecosystem that is there to support businesses. So all businesses have support systems and mechanisms in place out there. There's different associations and organisations to help you. And for tourism businesses, it's really important to build relationships with your tourism ecosystem. So your local council and tourism organisations where they exist, regional, state and national tourism organisations. They all want to work with you. They want to work with products and experiences, and they actually need you to be able to do their job effectively as well. And they can really help you to amplify your own business activities. So a new tour operator that we worked with did this exceptionally well. From the time that they started their business, they made it their business to build relationships on a local, state and national level. And we're really proactive in connecting with their visitor information centre, their local council, their state tourism organisation through to Tourism Australia. They kept them up to date on what they were doing, the different tours that were available and exciting things that were happening in their business. As a result, they've had a whole range of coverage since they started operating. And most recently, I was really excited to see that they got some media coverage in the New Zealand market for their new tour, which they've just launched. And they did all this just by working the system. So what can you do? I'm going to say to everyone, start with the Australian Tourism Data Warehouse. Get involved and get listed on there if you are not already, and make sure that you keep that listing up to date. It's a really important listing to have. But also get involved in all of the other free or low-cost activities that are available to you out there through the tourism organisation. So there's everything from social media programs and getting involved online activities through to meals where you can have trade or media come out to your property or to experience your tour offering. And there's also traditional media sources as well, where you can be sending through your press release to these organisations that they can share out through to their networks as well, which is exactly how that New Zealand market coverage happened for the tour operator that I was talking about earlier. Also get personal. So build personal relationships with these organisations and build them at all different levels. Get out there and talk to them, sign up for their newsletters and send them yours to keep them up to date as well. Let them know about what's going on in your business. Drop into your local visitor information centre if you have one and talk to the staff, get to know them and make sure that they're keeping you top of mind, and invite staff to visit your business as well. Build those personal relationships over time. They'll pay off in the long term. And also think about how you can be a hero. So what I mean by that is, how can you make it really easy for those tourism organisations to work with you and be proactive in your approach to working with them? Quite often I hear from businesses that I work with, about council isn't doing enough for me, or we never get included in anything from Destination New South Wales or Tourism Australia. Think about how you can flip that narrative and think about what can you do to make sure that you are included. Are you keeping them up to date with information and letting them know about what's going on in your business? Are you making it really easy for them to work with you? There was an amazing regional tour operator that we work with that identified, the value in this becoming the hero for the destination. They realised that to attend trade events that they wanted to, they had to sell the destination first. But the destination that they were in wasn't quite ready to be attending these events. So what they did instead was became the destination. They created their own destination piece to take, and they sold the region at these events to explain to the travel trade, how they could engage and build an itinerary into their destination as a whole, as well as really including their products and experiences within that destination piece. And they did that very successfully at ATE this year. So think about, how you can make it easy for these organisations to work with you. And finally, find your tribe. So partnerships and collaborations are so important. And as a small business owner, life can sometimes feel pretty isolating too. There's a lot of stuff going on. You're doing all of the things, you're managing your team, you're doing the accounts and the finances, you're thinking about the marketing, you're building out your systems and processes. It can all be a little bit overwhelming at times. So it's important that you can find your people and connect with other small business owners that are like-minded and perhaps on the same journey as you as well. It's also important to find business owners that you can work with that can help you to grow your business, that you can work together on growing your business, those complementary businesses within your destination or outside of your destination as well. A really good example of this that we've seen is a large scale producer that we work with that was building a new visitor centre and retail store on their property. And they knew the value of showcasing the local destination and also the value that would come of supporting other local businesses. They made the decision to stock exclusively locally made products that complemented their own offering within that retail store. So they created that win-win with other businesses selling their product in store, but also gave them the opportunity to really showcase everything that was on offer in the destination. And they became some cheerleaders for those smaller businesses as a result. It's also important for you to build, that peer-to-peer network and supporters for you personally in your business over time with other businesses that might have a similar offering to you, and build that network of like-minded business owners over the long term. So a different producer that we were working with had built these networks over time and had really an amazing connected network of other producers in the same field as them. And what that really allowed them to do when some issues came up in the policy space is to quickly connect those other businesses and really advocate for some change. There's those other benefits outside of the direct business operations as well. So what can you do to build your own tribe and your own network? Firstly, get out and about, attend networking events, and make sure you follow up with people afterwards as well. Don't just go along and have a nice time and, a couple of drinks and some cheese. Make sure that you can connect with other businesses and follow up post the event. Step outside of your comfort zone and maybe try some different networking events in your local area or even online networking as well to connect with new groups of people too. And these don't always have to be formal organisations or associations. A great outcome that we've seen through our mentoring work is where a local tourism collective is formed, led by operators with a simple Facebook group that just operates and is a platform for people to exchange information and knowledge within a destination. So one local business has really gone out and been proactive and become the hero of that and built this new network for that information and knowledge exchange, and also to become cheerleaders and supporters of each other too. The next thing is to be proactive. Identify partners that you want to work with. Think about, who are those complementary businesses? Like in the retail example, who are those complementary producers or suppliers that offer things like this selling in my store? Think about those businesses and the ways that you could work together. And when you're thinking about those ways of working together, making sure that you're creating a win-win as well. Reach out to them. Don't be shy. Get out there and take the lead and be proactive about building your business in partnership with others. And finally, be generous and play the long game. So be generous with your time and the sharing of information and knowledge with other businesses. And we're all here to support each other. So think about how you can do that and openly share your knowledge with other businesses to become cheerleaders for them. And remember that it's a long-term relationship that you want to build as well. You never know where other people might end up over time and the benefits that might have produced for you. There's some ideas to just get you started to think about what you can be doing in your business from some of the learnings that we've had from our mentoring programs along the way. So some of you might have missed the question that I had at the start around, I'm going to turn my camera back on so I can see you all, hopefully. The questions that we had around, what are the things that resonate with you as I'm talking through some of these activities today? So we'd love if you wanted to share with us some of the things we've gone, I'm going to go and give that a go. I'll give you a minute to think about that, maybe pop some things in the chat box if you did want to share, are you going to go and look at your financials? Is that one thing that you've been putting off in your business? Let us know what you think. But really, just to wrap up, I guess, from today, as a small business owner, it's, the buck does stop with you, unfortunately, a lot of the time. There is a lot of things to be doing, but it's important to remember, if it's meant to be, it's up to me, right? If you want to grow your business, it's really up to you to put in the work. We're here as a team at Sparrowly Group to really help you to do that. Reach out, the email address is there, mentoring@sparrowly.com. If you've got questions, if you need support, if you just want an ear to bounce an idea off, or you think, God, I don't really know what the next step is for me, where should I break down the tasks? What should I be focusing on to really move my business forward? Drop us an email. We're here and happy to help you. Importantly, there is a lot to do. So break it down into small chunks. Carve out some time to really consistently work on your business. Make that time, whether it's once a week or once a fortnight, chunk out some time to sit down and work on your business, and set yourself some goals of what you want to achieve in that time. And make those small little steps, those 1% wins, right, that over time are really going to add up to bigger results in your business. Just like when I was talking about, cost of goods sold, we're breaking it down and finding all of those little savings. Over time, it adds up to bigger savings and profitability. So I see that we do have a question, Jackie, from Joe.
We do, and it's our favourite platform, Naomi.
Yes, thank you so much for asking, Joe, because you know how much I love ATDW. So, Joe, there are some great tools and resources that can help you with your ATDW listing. So that's your listing on the Australian Tourism Data Warehouse. For you, you're not sure how to put in individual events. Okay, Jackie, do we have some resources specifically around adding events to ATDW?
Most of the resources that we have are focused on the business, but we can send you some links for events, definitely.
You can definitely do that. There is also, because you are based in New South Wales, Joe, the Destination New South Wales do have the Get Connected helpline, so we can share that number with you as well. You can Google it from Destination New South Wales too. So you can give them a call and they can talk you through how to do that as well. And the ATDW team, they're based out of Queensland, are quite proactive too, but we'll share some resources with you, because you're right, you set up your business, but then load the individual events that you have within your business as well. So if you are having a pie festival, an apple pie festival, for example, you can list that on ATDW separately as an individual event. So we'll get you some resources about how to do that, Joe. Definitely. All right, you are welcome, Joe. Sandra, hello, Sandra. Nice to have you on here today. I haven't seen you for a long time. Hope you're well. You need to look at building your team. Yeah, great. And building out those tasks and processes. So it's a great thing, particularly in your business, Sandra, with accommodation. Start with those, keep it simple, starting out those tasks. So start with the tasks, those top 5, like I said. Do those first 5, and it could be for you things like cleaning your room, or how to check in a customer, how to take a reservation. Start to document it, because once you've documented it, that's going to help you to grow your team as well, because you've got it documented to be able to train them. If you've got cleaners coming in to work with you, or someone that's taking your reservations, you've got those things documented. So that's great. I'm glad that you're going to work on that, Sandra. But shout out as you work on it. If you need any help, we've got some resources around that too. So please do let us know if we can help with anything else. All right. Did anybody else have anything else they wanted to share? Finding staff. Oh, Joe, I hear you. It is absolutely. So Joe's question is around finding staff, which we all know is really hard at the moment. It doesn't matter what industry you are in. It is challenging to find staff at the moment. Hospitality businesses in particular are really struggling. So Joe, I'd be really clear, first of all, on what it is that you want to offer in terms of your tour leader positions, what that looks like, what are the benefits, why is it so great to come and work with you and your team. Look at those. What I found really effective in my business to find staff lately is really through personal networks. So not through the traditional advertising channels. We have had success in Facebook and using different Facebook groups to post about what we're looking for, but it's really the personal connections and letting people know within our own personal network that this is what we're looking for in our business. So talking to people that building that network, building those relationships, which I know you've got really good relationships quite broadly, starting just to talk to people and let them know what staff you're looking for. We have had in my business outside of Sparrowly great success in finding staff that way. So that could be a way to go about finding staff, depending on the age of the workers that you're looking for. universities or schools? Are the people there? Think about where the pools of people are as well that could potentially become employees for you, and go and approach those places too. I hope that helps you, Jo. Good luck finding staff. It is very challenging at the moment. Okay. Well, poach someone for the first time to get a retail manager. Nothing wrong with that, Jo. As long as they're not my staff, you can poach away. No, in all seriousness, it is, identifying people that you might want to work in your business too. When you're out and about and you see a good employee, yeah, like I said with other things, don't be shy. You felt terrible. I hope that they're a fabulous employee for you, Jo, though. And sometimes in business, we do need to do these things to think about, how we can grow our own business too. That's important. And you know what, Jo, if that employee wasn't keen to come and work with you, they wouldn't have anyway. So don't feel bad about it. I hope you've got a great new employee there. All right. Well, I think
that, yeah, that's it.
Yes, Jo, you are lucky, and they're very lucky to be working with you too, I think, in your business. So thank you everyone for coming along today and spending some time to listen to me. I hope that I've given you some insights and some inspiration about things to go and work on in your business, even if it's just some thought starters about where to next for you. Please do reach out to us on that email address, mentoring@sparrowly.com. If you need any help, help with systems and processes, or how to connect with the tourism ecosystem, where to start with your finances, anything like that, just drop us an email. We're here and we are happy to help you. So please do get in touch. Thank you everyone for spending some time with us, and I hope you have a great afternoon. See you later.
Bye.